Good morning, Store Nation. I hope this message finds you incredibly well. What I want to do is I want to talk to you about the lessons I learned from my first 1,000 square foot moved in to my Manless facility. There's been some ups, there's been some downs, and there's been some lessons learned. Now, I want to caveat that and just put an asterisk around it and just say, do you know what? There isn't enough data yet to make any set conclusions. However, there's certainly data that I can look at and start making judgments. Now, I'm not going to make any hard and fast calls on the data we've received because it's a very, very small sample size. But what I want to do is just run through what I have learned at the minute, and bearing in mind that this can change massively in the next month or so. So it's a small sample size, but I want to share some things with you now. I put a LinkedIn post about this a couple of weeks ago, and so I wanted to share it with you. As I'm recording this, it's a day that LinkedIn post went out, and I've had so many questions, so many people contact me, and so I thought I needed to. I know that it's a couple of weeks afterwards, so at the minute we're in, when you can hear this recording, we're about week 7 of the Manless facility, but I'm giving you an update after 5 weeks, the first 1,000 square foot. Okay, so what did I learn? Do you know what? I should have got my LinkedIn post up. So I'm just going to get LinkedIn. Here we go. Do you know what? I don't even know if I'm logged in on my computer. I am logged in. Okay, so the things I learned from my Manless facility, first 1,000 square foot, as I'm trying to find my post. Here it is. So we've been open 5 weeks and we moved in 1,000 square foot. If I'm honest, why not be honest? I'm a little bit disappointed with that. 1,000 square foot in 5 weeks. I know what you're thinking, that's okay, that's good. But, I always tell you that projections, you must underestimate your projections. You must overestimate cost and underestimate the revenue. And that's exactly what we've done here. And it's a good job we have. So in the first month, I expected 500 square foot moved in. We're just over a month and we've got 1,000 square foot. But what you've got to remember is that there hasn't been any move outs. There's been just move ins. So let's not forget that we are going to have move out. So these are distorted figures, early doors, very, very distorted. And so I'm a little bit apprehensive at the minute because I believe that we should have moved in more than 1,000 square foot. And there's a number of reasons for that. The website, I don't believe, is doing its job at the minute. And we're waiting for some, I use an SEO tool, an SEO specialist who writes my content for me. And so we're waiting for that content to get written. Also, my web designers and developers are designing a better infrastructure, a better framework, so we can get better information out. So we haven't got that up yet. The signs on the site aren't where they need to be yet. There's no information for people who come to the site. So we can do a hell of a lot better. We can do loads better. So that is the one thing that we can do better. I am a little bit disappointed with 1,000 square foot. I believe in February, it's 11th of February when I'm recording this, I believe in February and March that we should move in over 1,000 square foot each month. And obviously I will continue to update you guys as and when we do it, because this is my, we've got 3 sites at the minute open. This is my first Manless facility. We've got another 3 sites that are in heads of terms that should be opening. 2 should be opening very, very soon, well, in the next couple of months, and 1 should be opening. It's just been built around about, or be built, I don't know, September, somewhere on there. It's very, very difficult to know. Right, so that's the first lesson. I'm a little bit disappointed with how much square foot has moved in. I want to be honest with you guys, but we're ahead of projections at the minute, so that's a good thing. And I don't think the website, there's a number of contributing factors there as to why we're doing it. The signs aren't good, the website's not brilliant, the content's not there, and it's February, don't forget as well. So January's not a great month. And also the SEO, we've just changed over from Storemore Hull to storemore.co.uk. So the SEO, we're not ranking high on the SEO as well. And so maybe I am, looking at all them contributing factors, maybe I am being a little bit unfair, because at the minute, last week, we weren't even on the first page of Google, because it takes time to switch it across and do all the bits and bobs. And we still haven't done that. We're still in the process of doing, implementing everything that's on my SEO course. Hopefully when you listen to this, I should have the SEO course on hackingselfstorage.co.uk, and you can purchase the SEO course there. Absolutely unbelievable. I think we've had 6 people go through it now, and the feedback has been awesome. And so if you want to look at that, it should be online now. Hopefully it'll be online. I haven't actually been actively selling it, but it's there if you want it. And $997, that's the price. I think it's a steal, because if you can move up a couple of places, it's not a price, it's an investment. It's not a cost, it's an investment. I believe it's going to help people massively. But don't use it if you're anywhere near me, because I don't want you outranking me. And that's everything. I'm just literally giving you everything that we use, the framework of how we do it. And it's not me doing it, by the way. It's an SEO ninja. I hate saying people are world-class, but this guy is unbelievable. Anyway, enough selling that. So yeah, maybe I am being a little bit unfair, because we've had so many contributing factors. I mean, like I said, last week we weren't even in the first page, and hopefully we'll be #1 ranked again on Google within the next 2 months. So yeah, I suppose I am being a bit unfair. So 1,000 square foot moved in 5 weeks. On the face of it, a little bit underwhelmed, but ultimately it's 1,000 square foot. 1,000 square foot. We're going. We're starting to motor. So that's interesting. Right. What else have I learned? Okay. So customers. This is a Manless facility, and customers appear at the minute to like more contact than I expected. Out of the 8 move-ins we've had 7 people move in with a contact, with either an email or a telephone conversation with staff. And that's not the idea of this. This is a Manless facility. The idea is that you move in and out without talking to anybody. Don't get me wrong. We have the team there if needed. You have a contact telephone number. You can email us. We'll get back to you. But I was hoping, and from the stats that we've got from Gavin from Stora, that more people, I have to get the exact stats, but I believe he said it's 50-50. 50% of his customers move in with no communication with his team. And I was like, wow, that's incredible. And at the minute, obviously, we've had just 1 person out of 8. So we need to improve somewhere. I put here the lessons I've learned. We need to do better on the signs at the site, online, and at the site in physical on-site location. We need to do better explaining the product. So we need to do better online, which we're currently trying to do. And we need to do better at the actual physical location, what to do if somebody wants to move in. We haven't got any of that information up yet. Like I say, we just want it to open. And so we need a big kick-ass sign that tells people what to do if you want to join. And I think that we can improve that. I think we can do better. I think at the minute, our percentage rate is nowhere near what it'll be when it's finished. But just at the minute, I thought that people would use the internet a lot more and have no contact. At the minute, it's 1 in 7 and 1 in 8. But I think we'll improve that. Here's an interesting one. Now, me and Gavin from Stora actually have different data points. Now, Gavin's got a hell of a lot more data than me, so I will bow down to his superior knowledge on this. But at the minute, what we are seeing is showing prices online has a lower conversion rate. And what do I mean by showing prices online? I mean no friction points. So if you say get price, it lists every single price of every single unit without you putting any details in. So at our new site, we show you the prices on every single unit. And what we do at the other sites are you put in some details like your name, telephone number, and email address, and then we show you prices. And then basically our team gets after you and chase you up nicely and respectfully, but we've got a sales process that we go through. And it's at the minute, we are seeing that we have a lower conversion rate with people landing on the page and getting the price than we have at Willoughby compared to Clough Road. And Clough Road I think it's in a better location. And so we have a lower conversion rate showing the prices than we do hiding the prices behind the firewall, all things being equal. So what we mean by all things being equal is the amount of people landing on the sales page, on the prices page. And so we have a lower conversion rate, which I find fascinating. Now, Gavin, on his data, and by the time you listen to this, by the way, we'll have a podcast out with Gavin interviewing, and we'll be talking about this. This is last week, but we've had that podcast out. And I find it fascinating because with Gavin's data, he says that from all known data that he's got, he has a higher conversion rate. He's seen a higher conversion rate showing prices, having no friction points. I find that fascinating because I want to know why is Gavin's data different to my data? Obviously, Gavin's data is a lot bigger than mine, a lot more substantial, so therefore holds more weight because he's got more companies that he can access through his software. And so, and by the way, that for me, that's incredible, because the more data you get, the better judgment and better decisions that you will make as a company owner or a manager. And so I've got to find out what's the difference. Why are we different to the data that he's seen? And I think the data is different because maybe, and I'll have to speak to Gavin on this, maybe, just maybe, that it's all about our sales process. Our sales process is shit hot. We are pretty good at sales process. I love sales. Sales for me, whether you like it or not, you are selling. Every single person is a salesperson in life. And so the persuasion tactics are so important. I sold my wife on the dream of living with me. I'm selling my kids on going to bed when I say they're going to bed. We're all selling all the time. And so if you can master that skill, then you have got an advantage in life. It's almost like a hack. You are doing incredibly well. If you can master that one skill in life, I think it's so important. One of the most important skills there is persuasion. And I think we're pretty good at it. Over the years, we've refined it. And now we've got 5 magic questions that we ask for our customers, and we take them down a little road, a little avenue, and we don't just sell them features, we sell them the benefits of that feature to them. And I feel like I feel like we're highly trained. And I want to say that other people using the store software may well be companies and people who don't have the time to go through a sales process, want it to be hands off. And so therefore, maybe that is why, because they haven't got a sales process, or maybe we're just better than most people at the sales process. So therefore we get higher conversions than most people would do when they are talking to customers. So it's something that I am really, really interested in. And another point is that for me, a lot of people still aren't educated. A lot of customers aren't educated in self-storage. And so for me, there's 5-star self-storage facilities, like there's 5-star hotels, and there's 1-star facilities. And what I don't want to happen is people just compare me on price to other self-storage facilities, because I will tell you now, I will always be the most expensive in town. Because why? Because we offer a better experience. We offer a lot more features and benefits than anybody else. And so therefore I want to hold myself at a higher level, a higher price point. And the first person somebody asks when they come into self-storage is, or when they ring you up is, what's the price, please? What price is a 50 square foot, or what price? That's not what they're really asking. That's the only information. That's the only question that they can think of, because they don't know self-storage. So we need to educate them. So what we do is, first of all, hold on a minute, I'll just get you that price. And then while we're saying we're just getting that price, we ask them other questions. Have you ever used self-storage before? No, yes. Either way, we can tell you why we differ. If they say yes, we can tell you why we're different to the self-storage perhaps they used before. And if they say no, we'll just, I'll tell you what, let me just take a couple of minutes to tell you about our self-storage facility. We need to distance ourselves from the other self-storage facilities in the area. We need to explain why we might be more expensive, why we might be better. What we don't want to be is a commodity. Not all space is equal, and we need to get that across in the sales process. So maybe that is why we are showing a higher conversion rate by hiding the price behind an information wall. It's fascinating. I love this, because do you know what? If you can tweak your conversion rates by just 1% here and there, it compounds. It is massive, especially because this is a recurring revenue model. And not only that, then the customers are happy, and when the customers are happy, 24% of our customers have moving in because of a review or something. That, you know, it's massive that people come back to us, and the recommendations that people give. So we need to almost educate the customers. So it's something that I'm really, really interested in. And if we can influence the conversion rate just slightly in any which way we can, whether it's how much we educate people online or whether we educate them over the phone, then that can make a massive difference to your business. Honestly, it can be huge. And I always tell people right now, anybody in self-storage can make a profit. But that's not going to be the case in 10 years' time. You can be a bad self-storage operator and still make money. You can be bad at sales and still get people moving in. But it won't be the case in 10 years. So we need to start preparing ourselves now for that, when it's more competitive. when you will have fantastic operators. Right now, you don't have to be a good operator to make money, but everybody thinks they're a good operator because they're making money. That is not the case. I believe that I can be a better operator, and I am literally learning, educating myself 4-5 hours a day. That's my job, to listen, learn, educate myself, and then implement that to the team. What does Warren Buffett say? He says, I'm going to butcher it, but basically he says that when the tide's in, we don't know who's swimming with their pants down, with no pants. We only find out who's swimming with pants down when the tide goes out. So I don't want anybody listening to this to be swimming right now with pants down, because you will not know that you're naked, that you're swimming with pants down. And most people won't recognize it until it gets more competitive. When the tide goes out, that is when we'll see who is a good operator, who is swimming with their pants down, who is swimming naked. Another lesson I learned: the tech that accompanies a Manless facility is awesome and so easy to use. I'll be honest, I was really worried about this because my team kept asking me loads of questions. What happens if this? What happens if that? What happens if it's? I said to him, listen, I don't have all the answers, but we can't have all the answers before we start this journey, because no journey starts with all green lights. You need to make progress. You need to start that journey. If you wait for all green lights, it's too late. There'll never be all green lights. And so I'm a big believer in just going for it, learning on the job. And I was really, really nervous about the Manless facility software, how Noki would work, how Stora would work. And I shouldn't have been. It's been, I can't get this across more. It has been seamless. When I set up another self-storage Manless facility, Manless, whatever, Noki, Stora, whoever you choose, do not be intimidated by the technology. It is so easy to implement. I mean, I know there's other people on the market with that's not just Noki, and we will be using them as well, because I want to, not only for me, but for you as well. I want to try I want to try everybody, because what's the point of just trying one person, trying one flavor of ice cream? I want to be trying every flavor to make sure that we've got the best operating system. At the minute, Noki have been brilliant, absolutely incredible. I want to do a whole podcast on Noki just because I'm super impressed. And yes, I know right now Janus sponsors the podcast, but that is not the reason I'm telling you that Noki is amazing. Because the sensor bag as well out there that we will be trying. And from what I've heard, the feedback I've heard from other customers who use sensor bag, it is amazing as well. This technology, my friends, don't be scared of it. It is fantastic. Stora has been amazing as well. Absolutely incredible stuff. And my takeaway, lessons learned, is that I shouldn't have been scared. I shouldn't have been scared because the technology is there. It's usable. It's friendly. And if I can use it, I guarantee you every single person on this call can use it as well. It literally, no key to get in, open gate, open door, bosh, you're in. Wonderful. And then you can see who's been in, what time, and who's in site now. And it's motion centered as well. So if anybody's moving around in the unit and the alarm it's beautiful. Beautiful, my friends. As Dave Davies, another lesson here, as Dave Davies would say, signs matter. Be visible, be as visible as possible. 100%. I spent a lot of money on signs. By the time this goes out, I will have spent nearly 15 grand on signs. But what I want to get across is that signs are an investment. They're not a cost. Signs are an investment, not a cost. And the more and more times you realize that and think about it, then the better for you and your business. Because if you start thinking the signs are an expense, then you will do a disservice to your facility. And so what you need to do is realize that signs, you're not bothered how much you spend on Google. So why should you be bothered not bothered, but you want to maximize as your presence as possible. If you've got a great location, you've got to maximize that, because every single customer that uses you is going to be worth about £1,000. Let's just, for argument's sake, a lifetime value of a customer is £1,000. So if your signs bring one person in a month, that means that it's worth £12,000 to you a year. And I believe signs will bring in more than one person a month. So you've got to make sure that we maximize your visibility from the roadside. Excuse me. Lastly, asset finance rules. Asset finance has been brilliant for me. I've only just been leveraging the power of asset finance. A big shout out to Kevin Doyle. He was the person who told me, first of all, about the asset finance, and Approved Asset Finance, I think, is a company. Absolutely brilliant, seamless, great rates, beautiful company. And it's been a game changer for me. So ultimately, 1,000 square foot moved in. I've learned a hell of a lot. And you know what? That's a great thing, because as soon as you stop learning, then you stop improving. And so the data is there for us to improve. So we've got to interpret the data to make sure we improve. 1,000 square foot moved in after 5 weeks. Can we improve? Yes. Are we going to improve? Yes. Let's see. I love it. I absolutely bloody love it. Anyway, guys, I love talking to you guys. Honestly, I'm made up. I absolutely made up with how the podcast is going, how LinkedIn is going. And yeah, I just enjoy it. As you can tell, I just love this roller coaster ride. And if I can help anybody along the way, then all the better, because self-storage has changed my life. Changed my life. Changed my kids' life, changed my wife's life, changed my mum and dad's life. It's changed my life and my immediate family's life. And I'm just forever grateful, eternally grateful. And this is just a start, baby. This is just a start. I've got massive plans for the industry, for the educational space for self-storage. It's going to be brilliant. And so, yeah, if somebody else can just go on this roller coaster ride with me as well. And I know there's not millions, but there's a lot of people starting their self-storage journey. And I'm just so excited for you, because yes, it's a competitive space, but I guarantee you will look back in 10 years' time and think, holy shit, it was a blue ocean 10 years ago. It's a blue ocean right now, but everybody thinks it's a red ocean. It's not. That's our competitive advantage right now. It's 0.74 square foot per capita. In America, it's 9. And I know that there's a massive operator that I really, really respect in America that is building in a place where there's 22 square foot per capita. 22 square foot per capita. And he's still, everybody around the area is full. And it's 22 square foot per capita. Unbelievable. And we're 0.74. Guys, please realize that this is just the start of self-storage. I cannot get across to you more that everybody's worried about competition right now. Please don't be. Concentrate on your systems and how you work, how you operate. Your operations are much more important than your competitors. Do not worry about your competition, especially now. Now is the time for me to really make the most of this. And in 5 years' time, if I'll look back on this and think, do you know what? It was an opportunity of a lifetime. I had in the same poker, I had the nuts and I didn't do anything with it. We've got the nuts right now, my friends. Let's do something with it, because this is, I know that I've got to be responsible, because I know when people hear me, I've been speaking and coaching somebody and he said, Dean, every time I talk to you, I just want to go and open a self-storage and I've got to be careful. And I understand that, because I'm so passionate about it and I get it across. And then, so all of a sudden I've got hundreds and thousands of little storage warriors going on. Yeah, let's open self-storage. And I'm sure inevitably that somebody will open in a bad location and not do the homework properly and won't do very well. And then I almost feel like I'm culpable for it. And so please, it's still a business. There is a risk involved, but it's a fantastic business. I love it. All right, my friends. See you soon. Love you. Appreciate you. Ta-da.